And welcome back, dudes and dudettes, to the Tropical Sunshine Resort VGM Con fun times. We got a great update on our Sinking Ships minigame thanks to some wonderful donations to the P-Fund Foundation, supporting trans folks across a 5-state area here in the Midwest. So, Josh, can you read out those coordinates and whether they are a kaboom or a sploosh?
All right, we have 5A, and that is a sploosh.
Sploosh.
We have D6, and that is also a sploosh.
Sploosh.
All right, we're getting pretty close, though. We got D3, and that is a sploosh.
Sploosh.
Lots of elimination here. A3, I believe that is a kaboom.
Kaboom!
Oh my God! Congratulations. Then we've got B3, and that is also a kaboom.
A whole ship has been sunk. The 3 ship. Very good. Very, very good. We got the 4 ship and the 2 ship left.
Okay, and the last 2 numbers we have are F7, and that is a sploosh.
That is a sploosh. But I will say, hint, it's close to a kaboom.
Whoa, whoa.
Watch out.
Okay, and then we've got C4. Ha ha ha. Ironically, that is a sploosh.
It is a sploosh.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. So look at that map. Find the places that have not yet been hit, and every $5, if you write the coordinates, we will mark it off on the map. But enough of that! Enough of our fun and games, Josh.
Yeah.
We got serious times.
I'm so tired of fun and games.
Well, we're not in the jungle. There's no fun and games.
No, we're in Final Fantasy, and
We're in Final Fantasy, the area known as Final Fantasy. You could have picked any location from any Final Fantasy game, and you're like, we're in the Final Fantasy.
We're in Guar Plains or whatever,
Yeah,
because we're joined by 3 heavy
Guar
degens. We've got Knight of the Round here in the studio with us. We got Justin, Adam, and Justin. We're missing
Kevin.
Kevin.
He is on an airplane right now, on his way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Well, you guys have gotten in. How you doing? How you enjoying your VGM con so far?
We're loving it, man. It's our 2nd year back, and it's just been so much fun seeing a whole bunch of friends here, meeting new friends, checking out a whole bunch of new acts, and it's just nice to be at a con where it's solely focused on the music, the video game music and stuff. So we're very welcome to be back here.
So for our audience that experiences FOMO, who have yet to been to a VGM con, how do you say this con differs from other appearances?
Adam, you want to take this?
Yeah, actually, I was just having this conversation this morning with some friends. And I think that the best way to describe it is, in the VGM community, a lot of people also know about MagFest, which is a much larger scale event. And it originated around the music, but now it's kind of about a lot more than just the music. It represents something very different. And that makes space for something like VGM Con to be special and different and unique. And the thing that we realized is that if MagFest is like the Coachella of VGM, VGM Con is the South by Southwest, right?
That's a
because
great metaphor, yeah.
Right, because it's a way to have a showcase and have an opportunity to be in front of like-minded people who are as passionate about this extremely niche interest we all have to the same degree that you are, right? And it's not just about like being able to network with people. It's about being able to experience the culture of it in a way that otherwise almost exclusively exists online, right? We all know that, right? So the fact that you can be here and see an intimate setting, and you can get Celestial Fury from overseas, and you can get us, and you can get Videri String Quartet, and you can get, Tiberian Sons.
Yep.
The one thing I think that was really special about VGM Con, for anybody who has not yet had a chance to experience it, is it makes a space for harpists and ocarina players and flutists to perform what they do at an event with like rock bands, that otherwise that space wouldn't exist for them to be there. And it's a much lower stakes environment because it's so much more intimate. It's easier to meet people. For people who are new to performing, it gives you a chance to mingle with people in a very intimate way before you have to perform, so you're more comfortable when you get on the stage. It makes a difference, and it doesn't just look different from the outside, it feels different from inside and from the stage too, so VGM Con is a special event. It really is.
It feels like a convention where just like it's musicians meeting musicians and talking about music. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's the passion.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, you said very niche. I mean, you guys fall under quite a niche yourselves. I mean, playing Degent, Final Fantasy music. I'm excited to see you guys perform tonight. I got to see you for the first time at MagFest in 2019, and you
In the
crushed
before
my skull.
times.
In the before
Yeah.
times.
I remember those ages.
Yeah. Oh man. For me as a viewer, what can I expect to see that's different?
Well, we played VGM Con a couple years ago. It was our first time playing since we released our Final Fantasy VII album. We're in the process of. We actually have we have a new album written. We're going to be playing 4 new songs from that album tonight. So, trying to bring a little bit of a different set from last time we played VGM Con. But for those who aren't familiar with us, we play extremely unnecessarily heavy video game music. And like you said, if that wasn't niche enough, we stick to the Final Fantasy series. It's something that we're probably always going to do if anyone asks us to stray outside of that.
There's a lot of material.
That's the thing.
Well,
The franchise is massive, and not just Nobuo Uematsu.
Exactly. And
There's-
so, I'm glad you said that. We're playing our first Yoko Shimomura track tonight.
Awesome.
And we're playing a Soken track tonight from Final Fantasy 14.
Beautiful.
So it's first, not the first time we've played the Final Fantasy 14 song, but that's going to be on our new album. We're going to be playing that tonight, for example.
Unreleased album yet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We're going to start recording it. I think we have plans to start recording it finally, like next month.
Wow.
We're going to finally start
We're
getting
going to start
that
prepping
done.
sessions and just start getting that taken care of, and hopefully by
Have that up by the end of the year.
fall,
Yeah.
late end of the year, hopefully.
Yeah, we're kind of taking our time with this new album. I was talking to I believe it was Mega Beardo earlier, kind of like explaining our process a little bit. Like pretty much every album we've released so far has been under some sort of deadline. There's been a reason to like oh crap, we have to get this album out by X date. Like the last album was the FF7 album. I think I text the guys once. It was during E3 when the remake date got dropped as February 2020. We're like, okay, guys, we have 3 songs already kind of blueprinted. I'm gonna just hunker down and get these arranged, and then, and that's fine. And that's at that time we were used to it because we were 8 years into the band at that point, or 7 years into the band at that point. But now we're a little bit more. I don't know. We're just kind of doing things at our own pace this time, and it's been a few years. And now it's gonna be like 4 years in between albums, which is the longest we've ever gone. But like you said, there's plenty of material. We already have 5 full-length albums out, so it's like we got plenty of stuff to listen to in the meantime.
Yeah.
If you have that shared
note,
interest
though,
of Final Fantasy metal that we all do,
Going into that franchise, what are some Final Fantasy tracks that you think more people should know about that maybe don't permeate even in the VGM scene? Tracks that maybe get overlooked.
Ask that because that's something that we've always. Oh, I shouldn't say always. Maybe like 3 or 4 years of doing the band. I think it was like right around the time you joined. We kind of made it a point where like new mission for the band is to find the songs that aren't maybe not deep cuts. We try to stay away from like at least a lot of the really, really deep cuts.
Sure.
It's okay. It's
Fantasy
okay.
Crystal Chronicles, My Day as King.
Chris Chronicles, yeah.
But and that's not saying that those games don't have awesome soundtracks. Like they absolutely do. But what we try to do is, obviously this band is for fun, right? But we also take it very seriously too for what it is, and we try to think as business minded as we can while also remembering that like we're paying tribute to these soundtracks. We're having fun. We're playing music that we want to hear, I guess, first and foremost. And if other people like it, that's great. But with that in mind, we do try to think of what are smart things to do from a business perspective. One of those is to try to stick to songs that are at least relatively known in the series, but we don't want to play the songs that you come to VGM Con and you hear 10 times.
So a lot for them, and then one for us.
So we kind of try to strike the balance where we play songs that like when people hear, they know it, but they haven't heard it yet at that convention. And that's hard to do. That's hard to do. That's hard to do. So
I mean, how many different variations of One Winged Angel are there? You know, it took us forever to actually tackle that because we were like intimidated, you know, because like there's so many great renditions that people have already done. Like even last night, Tiberian Sons, their rendition rules. And it's like, wow, you can almost hardly touch that. But we put our own spin on it, and now it like stand on its own, you know, because no one's really approached that song in the way that we did. You know, that track is originally, what, 16 minutes, 18 minutes or something?
Like dancing, I think it's long.
It's long, but we kind of had to like compress it into a digestible song,
5-minute song or something. Like
Not as insane as Dancing Mad, but
Right.
That's the one I was thinking of.
We did that too, and
but we did do that.
Made that into like a 6-minute song, and it's like had to eliminate parts that we think wouldn't translate well, but also keep the really memorable parts. You know,
right.
And
we
there
try
are
to
parts that we only play live because the rest of the song that we recorded doesn't necessarily translate well to live, right?
Smart,
So you have
yeah.
to be selective about
when you have like a 35-minute set or 40-minute set. We
Right.
don't want to play. We don't want to play like Dancing Mad plus 2 songs.
That's smart adapting
Right.
with the format that you're presenting the material.
To give you an idea, though, I want to give some credit to Justin because I've noticed a trend in this album's writing cycle with regard to him saying that he's been looking for like not necessarily a deep cut, but a song that you don't necessarily hear VGM acts hit all the time, but still recognizable. On the new record, I've made the joke already in the band a few times that it seems like he's looked deliberately for like intentionally corny source material to make cool as a challenge, right? And we realize that that is absolutely the case because one of the songs that's in the set tonight is a tune where I remember when you came to me, you were like, the source for this is like corny yeehaw, like it's a little silly, like it feels a little butt rock, you know what I mean?
Sure,
like and we turned it into
exactly.
and that's right, you know, like but like it was funny because what it turned into is a song that you'll hear tonight, and it has like a totally different groove than we've been able to do in any of our other songs that feels more like stuff like Pantera and stuff that we all like, you know? So we got a chance to kind of put our toes in that water as a band sonically in a way that we didn't if we hadn't approached a song like that. And that's also the case with the song that Justin and I put on the record. There are like a couple of reasons that I think that we worked together on this, and I haven't helped write guitar for this band ever until this point, but we were working on this song for a couple of reasons. First is it's my favorite Final Fantasy game, and I don't think
You can
it's
say it. It's Crisis Core remastered.
Crisis Core.
We're touching Crisis Core for the first time on
And
the
it
new
is
album.
my favorite Final Fantasy game, and Justin knows that. And we bonded over that because we kind of replayed it together.
We platinumed it, or we
platinumed
100%
it together,
of the game,
yeah.
like roughly within a week of each other.
Yeah, and we were like, it was a lot of fun for
Yeah.
us, so we bonded a bit over it. And also because that song the song we chose kind of sucks. And like,
for what it is,
There's
it's
a
great.
diamond in that rough.
Yeah.
It took a lot to harvest what they created out of it. It's it's really awesome.
No spoilers for it, but like, it made space for us to put a 4/4 rave pump on the record. Like that's really like
It's stuff
you know
we've
what I
never
mean?
like
It's like,
tried
you never had a
before,
chance
but
to
like
do
it's
something
like
that.
appropriate for that song. It's like, oh yeah, we have to do this. This hits too hard.
And
you
it's
know?
just
like,
it lets us have
famous
more
last
fun
words
with being
moment
in
or
the band. That's what it is.
that's where they went downhill.
Yeah.
No, we're stoked on that one though. The new album's gonna, I think, impress a lot of people, and just like it's gonna be a nice mix up of different games too.
From a production standpoint too, we from both, like you said, a songwriting perspective, like I've been able to really like spend a little bit more time and kind of work at our own pace. Like I was saying before, we've always had a deadline to hit. Like I said, whether it was the FF7 thing or it was like, oh, we got booked for MagFest, we got to finish this album in 5 months, you know, or whatever it is. Like we've taken our time and we've been kind of like, shoot, I mean, for a while we'd go like 6 months and I'd shoot you guys like a demo, like, hey, I had time to work on this, what do you think? And then, you know, so I don't know, just spending more time on the album from a writing perspective, or arranging perspective, I should say. And from the recording aspect too, Justin now has like a studio in his house where, so we're gonna like be tracking Kevin again, which is nice to be able to get back to having Kevin on our albums. And just like we've all grown, I think, as engineers and producers. Like Justin has his skills have increased exponentially in the past few years since he's got a studio in his house now. So learning all the new tricks that we've learned and dabbling in mixing and recording over the past few years is all going to kind of come to fruition for this album. So,
Yeah, I definitely would advance as fast had it not been like being under your wing for most of this trip, you know. So honestly, like that helped ignite, what I do now, and the fact that like I'm kind of honored to be able to track this album, just be an engineer on this and like have my little like stake in it, just be like, this is gonna be cool, like it's gonna be like it's gonna show all of our influences within this album, I think, and it's like the albums translate differently than our live show too. So like people come and see us live, and it's like a whole nother ball game. So like I think that aspect is going to translate into these new songs because we've worked together on them so much,
Yeah, and I think that the two cool things is you mentioned that we're showcasing across more games, and that feels good for me because for the past couple like record cycles, we've stuck to themes of like groups of songs from specific games for the most part, and it feels nice to have the freedom to choose whatever we want from whichever games we want. So we're able to hit some games that people have been asking us for quite some time, and that are very important to them, and that we've always wanted to do. Now we had the chance to do that because we had the time. But on the other side, it shows so much more range in the arranging and the style of each of the tunes, because not all of the tunes on the record have the same really like genre flavoring from song to song in a way that you might be used to them being. You know what I mean? So it doesn't necessarily feel homogenized. Not that any of our records ever really did, but it just showcases more range of the songwriting and arranging, and it shows that we, in the act of mostly arranging, tried to actually be songwriters too, right? Like we were intentional and tried to do something and make it special. And I think it's the best one.
No,
yet
I like
so
the
far.
creativity of your own flair on these tracks. Working to find that diamond in the rough for some tracks that are not particularly up to snuff. But
not even that the songs aren't like good, because like for what it is, like
they
like,
work within the context of the game.
Yeah, totally. And like, but for us to be able to put our flair on it, like I have like a seriously like a folder of songs that never went anywhere. On our, like we tried doing a FF15 song like 5 years ago, had it pretty much finished, and then after listening to it and being like, this just isn't good enough, and that's fine. But yeah, to find songs that fit into what we're trying to do is kind of like, it's just it can be challenging because we do take it pretty seriously. Like, we're like we are, I don't know, we are kind of a silly niche band, as we've said before, but we also take it very seriously too. Yeah. So.
Well, and like speaking of taking it seriously, you mentioned the live show is a totally different ballpark. Like you guys have really worked on your automation and your light show. I wanted to ask, how many chugs does it take to trigger a MIDI LED?
Exactly 0, honestly, because you can make the MIDI go without even playing your guitar, bro.
It's wild. Up with that, basically.
But to follow that up with a more serious question, I mean, obviously you guys put a lot of work into the production side of your live shows. Like, how much time does it take
this
to
man
set up?
Puts a lot of work into it. That's his extra part in this.
That's
see his passion.
It's kind of become a second hobby, honestly. Like, admittedly so. Like, it's just it's really fun to do it, and like, it started off as like programming some very simple video work, and that's evolved into like, oh look, we can buy programmable stage lights, and then we went down that rabbit hole for a little bit, and then we kind of have now found a balance, like what's reasonable in terms of like what can you bring to a live show that isn't going to like make our setup 2 hours long, like, or make things take up too much space.
Because you tour a lot too, and so being able to travel with that setup is really important.
So we have to find what works best. Obviously, we can't like fly with our light package or stuff like that, but it's like, they're on wheels and we can roll them into the trailer.
Yeah, for what works for where you are.
Like,
So I'd love to keep talking. We're just scratching the surface, but we got to wrap this up, and I want to make sure we hit the game before we part ways.
Absolutely.
So,
Let's play.
inspired by The Price is Right, last year for Oops All Zelda, we called this The Rupees Are Right. So you guys, it's called The Gill is Great. So I'm going to pick an item you can purchase in a Final Fantasy game. You guys have to tell me the price of that item without going over. Whoever gets closest will win a crisp high five from me. I will
high
allow
five so
each of you
bad.
to have one yes or no question that you can ask towards me. Or if you'd rather just lock it in early, then you can have first crack at a guess.
Okay.
All right, so the item I have is the #1 issue of Weapons Monthly. Any questions? Yes or no questions?
I'm assuming this is like FF8 Weapons Monthly.
Is that your question?
Yes.
Yes, it is from
Final
FF8.
Fantasy 8
Yes.
Weapons Monthly. #1.
Oh, yes, I did say that. So that, yeah.
Okay.
So that was your question. You guys can each have a question if you'd like. You're good?
Wild guess.
All
I
right,
think
all
so,
right.
yeah.
And you're staring off into the distance.
I'm resolved.
You are
No
resolved.
further questions.
All right. So since you guys are locked in, do you guys want to guess first or last? I think
guess.
last gets a little bit of an advantage. Since he didn't ask a question, I will go for Justin on the end there.
And we're speaking in terms of
Price.
like Gil
Gil.
price.
Yeah, how much Gil without going over? For the first issue of Weapons Monthly, established from Final Fantasy VIII.
Like, did you actually like get the price from the game?
Yes.
Crap. Resale value? I'm asking a question because you could sell stuff.
You can
I'll
sell
tell you
stuff.
why I asked that
Yeah.
later because it's been a couple years since I played through FF8. 10,000 Gil.
10,000. Okay, we're going for
Yeah.
10,000. Over here.
No.
Oh, you already logged in on 10,000, I'm afraid.
I know.
This is on me.
Yeah, it's on you.
It's on me. Okay.
Yeah. Audience at home, if you know it, put it in the chat. They can't look at
I
it.
think I want to go with 1,000 Gil.
1,000. So we got from 10,000 to 1,000.
You got a pretty safe margin.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a wiggle room.
I'm going to say 50,000.
50,000
I'm
Gil.
going to split it straight down. I'm going to go higher, and I'm going to say 50,000 go.
All right, so the answer is 50,000 Gil. Chris,
Give me that.
high five!
Hang on. Oh, I lost
oh,
my
yep.
laugh, but that's okay.
That was crisp as all hell. That was
Wait,
awesome.
Isn't that the one that you find?
You can find it, but it's also, if you miss it, it can be for sale.
Okay, see, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I thought I was gonna say like you should have gone for with 1 Gil for
That
some
was
reason.
that was one of my trick. I was wondering if any of you guys
because
would
that's
ask
the
that.
that's
yeah.
the rare that's the
That's
super
the
rare,
rare one that
one.
gets your ultimate weapons.
You get
yeah.
at the very end of the game, right?
Yeah. But you can buy it at, I believe, Karen's shop is
See,
what it
I,
said.
don't-
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I played Final Fantasy VIII probably 10 times, and I didn't know that you could buy those. They can buy that issue.
now you know.
That's why once I said 10,000, I thought it was like a trick question, like 0 Gil or something.
I would
'Cause
say
I thought you
would
could
say
only
you
find
found
it.
that instead of bought it.
I thought you could
So,
only
yeah.
found it. Okay. Fair enough.
I was almost that guy and almost went 1 Gil.
Honestly, that is a reasonable guess. Yeah.
I thought I was going to have the advantage
Price is Right
to get the one. That's why I sat here, not
Yeah.
going to lie. Thought I was going to be last in the row. Try pulling a fast one on you guys.
Slime bag. What a bozo. Why do we hang
He
out?
really worked that high five, and I'm not going to give it to you. That was the prize. I'm
never
sorry.
gonna wash
It's just
my
how it
hand
is.
again,
Yeah,
so-
there it is.
Well, thanks guys for joining us on
The warp
Only
stage.
one thing
We are
left
gonna,
to
Thank you for having us,
we're
guys.
going to ask you to sign our
Our banana.
The banana.
sign the banana,
Let's
please.
go.
Please,
Absolutely.
anywhere there's room on that banana, go for it. Who are we swinging it out to
Yeah,
next?
yeah. So, folks at home, you're going to be checking out Gustavo Shrapnel. He's going to be doing some shredding and some VGM as well. And after that, we'll be back with an interview with Rob Kovacs of
Rob
88-bit.
Kovacs.
That's 88-bit. I got them mixed up
Which
because
bit?
because he played with 8-bit.
He played with 8-bit here, but he's 88-bit. I'll
How
ask
many
him
bits
why
are
they
there?
were billed as 96 bits. And more entertaining questions and fun and games coming up next. Remember to donate to the P Fund Foundation to put more hits on our
splooshes.
sinking ship board, but I think we're ready to swing it on over to that next act. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Keep it locked.